Hey, what's up, guys? Okay, so I am pretty sure that the most talked about topic of last week's chapter was Mario Leona making her grand return to the series after about a year of being absent from the manga by punching out that giant devil who was attacking the castle town of the Spade Kingdom. But just as we all thought we couldn't get even more excited by her return, Tabata told us to hold his beer as he gives us this chapter with even more exciting moments, like literally the second half of the chapter. A majority of it is all action, and we focus it all on Mario fucking Leona being even more of a badass than she's ever been before. Okay, so the chapter actually opens up with us going back in time a little bit to not giving everyone the rundown of what their plan is going to be to stop the Tree of Death ritual. And basically, if you know anything about anime and manga, if the main cast of characters come up with a plan and we find out about it before it's actually executed, that means that something's going to go wrong and the plan is not going to go through. Now, on paper, the plan actually sounds quite simple, and Nock actually gives them the rundown of how the ritual starts off. Basically, what he tells them is that the Dark Triad had to make a ritual circle with Yami and William in the center of it, and each members of the Dark Triad and key points. And basically, what the plan is that while the ritual is actually starting, they're going to go to those key points, break into 3 teams, and basically take out the Dark Triad members before that they can activate the ritual, but they have to be taken out simultaneously, which I don't know exactly how they will be able to coordinate that part, but that's seemingly what the plan is going forward. Now, like I said, that is quite simple on paper, but in action, it's not going to be that easy because these are 3 very powerful characters that they have to go against. And even if you have captain level people helping them out, it's still going to be a hard fight. Especially since by the time they actually make it to the locations that each member of the Dark Triad are actually at, only 2 members of each team actually make it to that spot. Now, it's not to say that, those members actually get taken out, those third members on each team. They basically just stay behind to fight off against any of the Dark Apostles that they actually end up running into on the way. Now, what's interesting is the makeup of these 3 teams, and then basically it comes down to the first team being Nozel, Langris, and Yuno. I believe the second team, let me check real quick. The second team was Charlotte, Dorothy, and Real, and then the final team was Fugoyan, Jack, and Noct. And the 2 members of each team that actually make it to the locations are Yuno and Langris getting to Xeno's location, Charlotte and Real getting to Vanica's, and Jack and Noct getting to Dante's, which means that Dorothy, Nozel, and Fugoyan, all 3 end up staying behind to face off against Dark Apostles. Now, even though Nozel, Fugoyan, and Dorothy don't actually make it to the Dark Tribe members in this chapter, I have no doubt that with how strong they are, they're going to easily take out their Dark Apostle opponents and make their way over into the Dark Tribe members and finish the fight with their teammates. Now, what's actually a little bit upsetting about these fights, besides the Yuno and Langris versus Xeno fight, is that Dante and Vanica have pretty much been set up to have rematches against Noelle and Asta during this arc. So because of that, you know that they can't lose their fights against their opponents. So that means that we already know that Noct and Jack aren't going to be the ones to take out Dante, and we know that Charlotte and Real won't take out Vanica. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to lose those fights, but we know that their fight's not going to finish at the very least because Noelle has to fight against Vanica because she is her personal opponent for the arc, and Dante and Asta have to have their rematch. So it's a little bit upsetting knowing that we're not going to get a definitive answer of actually who would win these matchups, at the very least when it comes to the Vanica versus Charlotte and Real fight, because at the end of the day, Asta technically already did defeat Dante, so really he only needs to defeat Lucifer, and he doesn't actually have to be tied to Dante in order for him to do that. So we could see Jack and Nock actually take out Dante in this arc, and then when Lucifer eventually gets free, we could see Asta facing off against him. But when it comes to the Vanica and Mekikuga fight versus Charlotte and Real, we know that fight's not going to have a definitive answer at the very least, or Charlotte and Real are going to end up being defeated because Noelle has to be the one to take out Vanica. Now, we don't actually end up seeing Sally, Rades, Valtos, Moxa, or Seke in this chapter, and I'm wondering what's up with those characters, what they're doing right now, while everyone else is enacting their plan of fighting off against the Dark Triad members. And if I had to guess, I would say that when it comes to Sally, Rades, Valtos, and Moxa, they're probably looking for Morse's lab, and they're going to be facing off against him during the arc. And when it comes to Seke, obviously he's most likely just trying to find a safe place to hide. And then we cut back to the outside to Mario Leona, and like I said in the beginning of the video, I was a little bit too excited and called it a little bit early. The fight's not exactly over just yet against the Giant Devil. Mario Leona didn't actually knock him out with 1 hit, she just kind of knocked him hard, but he's still standing. In fact, he didn't actually even move from that hit, and all the townsfolk are actually kind of like, they're screaming because of how scared they are of how powerful the devil is, and while they're all screaming in fear and running away, Mario Leona is just getting even more excited, and we actually end up seeing her show out the results of her training. Well, first, before I even get to that, we see exactly how she ended up getting recruited to this new era of Royal Knights. And basically what we see is that she was training in a volcano after fighting off against all those elves and realizing how strong they are and how much more she can actually increase her own strength. she decided to go train in one of, I would assume, a Grand Magic Zone volcano, probably the one we saw from the anime. And we see her bathing in lava. It's like, yo, Tabata, you are giving us way too much reasons to love this character. First off, she's bathing in lava. How badass is that? Second, you give us a full frontal nudity post. I mean, we should see parts of her being covered up by the lava, but still, you give us a full frontal nudity of Mereoleona. You know there's going to be a lot of boys not sleeping tonight because of that. But anyway, we see Nox showing up to recruit her to the fight. He gives her the rundown of what's going on exactly. And even though she's not really that interested in saving Yami and Vengeance, she does take a little bit of interest in Dante and the rest of the Dark Tribe members who actually were responsible for kidnapping them. And in this moment when Nox realizes that what she's after is a good fight, he promises her that if she joins them in their mission, he will give her the best fight of her entire life. And you know what? Nox was not joking around when he said that, because now she's fighting one-on-one with a giant devil. And during the fight, Mereoleona actually brings out her brand new technique, or actually, I would call it a transformation more than anything. And that is basically, she activates her new spell called the Embodiment of Hellfire, or at the very least, that's what the fan translation calls it. We'll see what the official translation calls it on Sunday. And basically what this transformation is that she turns her entire body into flames. Like, she is literally the embodiment of fire in this chapter. And what's cool about this is that the technique is so powerful and it changes her so much that one of the resistance members, I believe the guy I was calling out to be Ralph's dad, he actually, oh, by the way, we actually don't see Ralph in this chapter. I forgot to mention that. But he actually says that her transformation is like she turned her body into living mana. And it looks like this transformation just seemingly increases her speed and power immensely, to the point where she's dodging all the devil's attacks left and right, and she actually knocks them out in one hit at the end of the chapter with a brand new Mana Zone attack. Now, because of the fact, like I said, it is a fan translation, and I'm sure they got the name wrong for the attack, I'm not going to name it in this chapter review, but look forward to the actual official name on Sunday. I cannot wait to see what this brand new boss-ass attack is. Now, I'm not going to say that the fight's over just yet. We could see in the next chapter that the devil gets back up and the fight continues between the two of them. But seemingly right now, Mereoleona knocked that devil out with her brand new attack. Oh, and speaking of that devil, remember how back when Nox first showed up and he told everyone exactly what the tree clue path to Tree of Death actually was and gave us the rundown on it? Remember how on that diagram we saw there were 10 devils, each behind a single gate? I think that this devil that Mereoleona is fighting in these past two chapters, I think this is actually the first devil behind the first gate. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that back in chapter 273, when we first saw this devil trapped behind the crystal wall, we immediately cut over to seeing the Tree of Death and exactly how far it had grown. Now, assuming that it grew a little bit more between the time we saw that scene and to when everyone actually made it to the Spade Kingdom, we can assume that the first gate of the Tree of Death had actually already been opened because of how far it's grown, and that's the reason why this devil is here. Which means that there are 9 more devils, even stronger than the one that Mereoleona is fighting against right now, still possibly showing up later on in the arc. And since we already know that there's going to be a bunch more characters already confirmed to be showing up in this arc to help out in defeating the Dark Triad, more than likely, at least half of those devils are going to get released from our gates, so that these people who will be showing up will have an opponent to fight off against. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this week's video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate it. Comment down below what your thoughts about this week's chapter and Mereoleona's brand new transformation. Man, I cannot wait to get to see this animated. When we actually get it in the anime, I'm going to lose my mind. But like I said, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought about it. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out.